Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. Today we're going to be talking about organizational ideas for your craft room. Hey guys, we're going to talk about organization today. Everybody has a different method for organization, and I'm just going to show you a couple things that I do for like stamps and dies, and then I will link to the products that I use in my craft room for my ink storage, my ink brush, my the blender brushes. These things take up an enormous amount of space, but I have a really cute, really user-friendly stand that I keep on my desk over here, and I will link to that over on my blog. But for right now, what we're going to cover is how I store my dies. So yes, I have them in tubs. So I have them in big plastic containers. And a lot of these I am actually going through to repackage and make them a little bit sturdier. And Spellbinders has really good backers already in them. They're just really big. And those big backers take up a lot of space. And while that's great that I could reuse that, and I could actually reuse that for something else if I wanted to, what I like to do is I like these smaller pockets to use instead of the great big pockets, especially if this is something that's smaller like this. These pockets are from the checkout store. I purchased them through Amazon. These are great pockets. They come in a pack of 100. There's several different sizes available, and I'll link to those over on my blog. And I also use adhesive-backed magnetic sheets. This is Best Crafts adhesive magnetic sheets. They're 8x10. You can cut it with your guillotine trimmer. This, if you want to make magnets for the house or something, you can also use put this through your digital paper trimmer if you wanted to, paper cutter. I've never done that before because I don't make magnets, but you can if you want to. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to trim this down to fit the die that we need and our extra piece over here. And we're going to put this on our backer sheet, and we're going to write the name at the top of this and slide this into our pocket. And that's going to be our storage system that we're going to use. And I'm going to show you how I do that on several other ones as well, because that's actually going to be more sturdy than a bunch of different pieces of paper in there. And then I'll show you how I do my stamps as well. So let's get started. to do something else with. I don't remember exactly what I bought them for, but I bought a great big huge pack of them, not actually realizing, because they were so dirt cheap when I got them, not realizing that they were like so many in the pack. I was like, what in the world am I going to use them for? Well, yesterday, well, actually over the weekend, when I was like, my stuff is getting on my nerves a little bit here, just because they are so floppy and it's getting hard for me to go through my stamps and stuff. I was like, I can do this. Is it going to take a little extra time? Sure. But I already have it on hand, so I'm going to go ahead and use it while I've got it. And I already have a laminator too. Some people will buy the file folders and stuff and use specific file folders to insert, or backer boards, similar to like what you put in a comic book, that kind of thing. And then they have dividers in their bins. And that's fine. If you're that organized of a person, that's absolutely fine. Don't ever let anybody tell you how to organize your craft space. I'm just giving you some different ideas of how you can, especially if you're on a budget, or you might already have some things on hand that you can use to improve your organization that you already have in your craft room that works for you. For me, I have to have stuff that looks messy. I know that sounds crazy, but I can't stand it to be uniform looking and all of that. I have to have it messy looking. If you saw my craft room, you'd be like, how do you get anything done in here? It's a conglomeration of all kinds of stuff. So I have to have that messy look. It serves my chaotic brain better. So we're going to laminate this. And now I'm going to trim this down. As my eldest cat decides to hiss at everything. Because she's a real peach. She's still not real happy with the addition of Miss Lucy. All right. Get this garbage out of the way here. Make sure this slides in the pocket. And it does. So what we're going to do, will fall off, that's fine. So all I have to do now is slide that one thing out and everything's going to come out with it. Set that off to the side to dry for a few minutes. Slide it in the pocket. Ta-da! And that's going to be a lot sturdier than it was, instead of it flopping around everywhere. And that's going to stand up in my container. Now I also have some that have a lot of dies on them. And I didn't save the backer board for. I just saved the very tops of them, of what it was. There are a ton of dies in it. And I had this really heavy duty magnet card, and it's a 5x7 magnet card, and it's from Stampin' Storage, and it's really heavy duty. And if you have their boxes to store your stamps in, your dies in, it's really great. However, I don't, so I don't use it very often, and I stuck this particular die set on there, and now it just drives me crazy. So what I need to do is actually make sure that I can put all of these dies on here. In some way, or if I can't get them on one side that fit inside of the pocket, and have them all lay flat, then I need to also cut another piece and put it in the back of it. So I can put another one on the back side of this. So everything still fits nice and it's still inside of this pocket and not a bigger pocket. So I have a smaller one right here that I can use the rest of this for. I don't know if that's the right side of that. It's not. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I need to trim the top of this off. I know I can get all of that on there. I'm going to trim the top of this off and put it on a backer board. Slide it down in there, and then I have both of these that I will put on this one backer board. So for my stamp sets, if the backer board that comes with the stamp set fits inside of my pocket, I don't do anything with, I don't create another backer board for it or anything. I just use the backer board that came with it. That's it. I just slip the stamp set and the backer board that came with it into the pocket. There's no need for me to create a different backer board for it. perfectly works perfect for me. If the backer board didn't fit, or it was before I started doing that, then I do have these older backer boards that I have on some of my older stamps that fit inside of the pocket that I was labeling at the time. This just took me way too long to do all of this. Sometimes I will cut the backer board itself down a little bit. The Lawn Fawn ones are a little bit too big to fit inside of my pocket, and I can trim off just a shade of that, and they will fit inside of my pocket and still have what I need to have on them. So I do keep those now. So my stamp storage has evolved over time. Now the ones that I have, like this has the coordinating die set with it, and this has the coordinating die set with it. And right now they're just floating in the back of my pockets. And my project that I work on in the evenings is a little bit at a time. I will be taking some of my adhesive magnetic sheets, and I'm going to be quartering these, and I will put this on the back of this backer board and attaching my coordinating die sets to that, so that they're not all floating around and I won't lose them as easily, because it's easy to misplace them, especially like when you have these itty bitty pieces in here. Once they've all been cut apart, it's really easy to lose those pieces if they're not attached to a magnetic sheet. And that's one thing that I do recommend that you do, is attach your coordinating die sets with your stamp sets to a magnetic sheet, even though they're all in the same pocket, because these little itty bitty pieces can get lost really easily. So just whatever works for you, but I do recommend that you do add a magnetic sheet. I've lost a few pieces before. So learn from my mistake on that one, because dies are expensive and this is an investment. So that's something that I'm going to be working on in the evenings. And that's one reason why I bought I have actually 2 great big packs of this. This is a pack of 25. And I'll get a lot of use out of this. It's a really good price point. Of course, this will be linked over on my blog as well. So move on to the next one. For stencils, I like these pockets. I have 2 sources for those that I will share with you, and I keep all of my stencils in pockets, and there's no organization to my stencils. I just have them all stuffed in pockets. They have little file tabs on them. Some of them have little pockets on the front of them, but I will link 2 different sources for these. One of them is Stampin' Storage, and the other one is scrapbook.com. And for jewels and beads and confetti and sequin storage, I like this. I have bunches of these boxes and a bunch of these little containers. I can see what's in it. All of mine are in pretty much rainbow order, and I have like all of my iridescent ones are in here. Some of them have 2 containers, 3 containers, because I just have that many of them. Because I bought all of my sequins and stuff in bulk. I generally don't buy mixes unless it's a bulk mix, just because it's less expensive that way. Some of these came in card kits, but I have 5 more trays of these down under my desk, and I'll pull them out, and I have like little beads and everything that I need right there. I can just open it up, and because they're in rainbow order, I know pretty much where the colors and everything are. Like I have little sequin hearts and that kind of stuff. So I will link to these trays and the containers, and you can get them in different sizes. There's this teeny tiny one, the small, the great big one, and then there's the medium ones as well. And you can mix and match the different sizes together to build your own trays. I keep my Copics in this container in a cart beside my desk. And this came from a shop on Etsy, and I will link to that as well. And I absolutely love it. I love supporting small businesses. And this is Small Mom and Pop Shop, and they designed this, and I will link to it over on my blog so you can see. They have a bunch of different options, and even I think a new option for the new refills too. So I will link to that. I showed you that I had the big clear box. All of the clear containers that I have, they came from discount stores like TJ Maxx. If I saw them sitting on a shelf, I got them. I don't pay full price for those kinds of things. This is one of the containers. I don't know the name of these things, but this came from IKEA. They're like $2 and something. If you live next to an IKEA, these are the best little storage containers. If you live within 2 hours of an IKEA, these are the best little storage containers. They're not even $3, and I really like them. I can put stamps and dies in these. They will hold embossing folders, stamps, dies, ink pads, pretty much anything. And I like that they have the little handles on them. They're small, so they don't get overly heavy. The big long containers, they do get really heavy. That's the one thing that I don't like about them, is they will get really heavy, especially if they're with dies. But these little containers they're perfect for projects too. So if you have a project that you're working on, you can throw that in there. I have looked for similar products and I can't find anything that's really, really similar to this that is within the same price range. But I will link to it so that you can see where it is over on IKEA's website. And if you have one close to you, grab you a bunch of them. I have tons of these things. I mean, like, there's probably 30 in my craft room. Absolutely love them. Every time I go to IKEA, I pick them up. They also have some little shelves that I really like too, that I have stashed all over my craft room that helps add additional storage space. The other thing that this particular container is perfect for is cutting cardstock panels and storing them, and it's also perfect for envelopes. So I have a bunch of panels already pre-cut, and these are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have like 4 containers full of panels already pre-cut, and it's perfect for those. It's just perfect, and nothing gets messed up, nothing gets disgusting. It's just there, and I can see all the colors, and it's easy to get to, and they're all nice and neat. I even have this for my Stampin' Up! Stuff. I have all of it tabbed, so I haven't cut a whole bunch of my panels yet, but I even have everything tabbed with the names written on it, so I can just go through here and pull my paper out, and I'll be filling this up later on. But there's that. It's all nice and neat and pretty, all in rainbow order. Ta-da! Now, of course, you have companies like Stampin' Up! That provide storage containers and things for you when you purchase their stamps, which is great. If you don't have a shelf to put them on, what do you do with them? Well, you can do a couple things. These are DVD sized, period. That's what size this is a DVD size. You can buy boxes, and they fit nicely in boxes, and you can either store them in the boxes and have an index card on the outside of the box with what stamps are inside, stamp sets are inside of the box. You can buy a DVD stand and have them out and shelved, or you can put them on a shelf. Those are the ways that I've seen these stored. That's the ways that I've stored them in the past. I have also bought a wire DVD rack, cut the foot off of it, and hung it on the wall. I actually have those downstairs that I used to have downstairs when my craft room was in my basement. So just a couple of ideas. I have mine currently. These are in DVD boxes on a shelf, and I have the DVD boxes where the lid is on the back of them, and I have them set up on my shelf over there, so I can actually, if I need to, I can just pick them up, put the top on them, and set them off to the side if I need to. So just a couple of ideas for how to store these. Everybody's craft room is going to be different. Everybody's storage needs is going to be different. Everybody's craft space is going to be different. So make it work for you. I want to give you ideas to make it work for you, not take what I do or what any other creator does and just mimic it. Make it work for you. I will clean my craft room and do a current video in the next couple of weeks. It will probably be after I do Christmas in July. And I'll have some more links to some more of the storage products and stuff that I use then. But I just wanted to give you some ideas for today of thinking about some projects and things, ideas, and get those wheels turning. Have a good day.